everybody, it's Adam L again, and today we're going to be talking about one of Ruger's newer entries into the rimfire market, the SR22 semi-automatic pistol. 22 long rifle, plain and simple, everybody should own one. It's the most useful little handgun there is for training, plinking, you know, even if you're gutsy enough to take small game from a distance, although a rifle's preferred. But as far as, you know, getting the kids, getting your girlfriend, getting your wife into shooting, what you'd really want to use is something like this that is not going to be intimidating, it's not going to be very loud, and it's not going to have a boatload of recoil. So this is where we want to start today. Anyway, this is, let's unbox and see what we have going here today. Okay, Ruger packages these things very nicely. In addition to the pistol itself, you can also expect all the usual Ruger goodies. You do have a spent cartridge shell in here, instruction manual, obviously essential, a lock, and there is an extra grip here, so depending upon your hand size you might want to change out the existing grip that it comes with for this slightly larger one. Not much to it, really. All you do is pull the old one off. No tools or anything required. It does come with the receiver padlock, which is nice too. And although the pistol comes with two 10-round magazines, it also has a couple of different base plates. Your standard everyday one, and then this one has sort of a pinky extension on it. I don't know if you can see that. So if you do have slightly bigger hands than me, and you don't like your pinky hanging around, maybe this might be the ticket on your Ruger mags. Anyway, the package comes with two of each, so whichever you decide to go with, you are all set. Now the piece itself comes in this cool little zippered up Ruger bag, which is nice, protects the finish. And as mentioned, although I'm going to set it aside, it does have two 10-round magazines, which is kind of great. Magazines, also worth mentioning, not cheap, particularly when you buy them from Ruger these days. But the magazines do have a couple of interesting features I like. I'll get into more about that later. Let's do a quick safety check here. We'll pop the mag. You can see that this one has that extended grip on the bottom, the magazine base plate for your pinky finger as mentioned. Okay, no mag, nothing in the chamber. We are good. Now the Ruger is, where do I want to put it? Right there, sounds good. The Ruger, it's a 10-shot semi-auto, and it runs basically like a Beretta 92. It's a double single, so your first round is going to be double action, and then it's straight up single from there. It does take a little bit of getting used to if you're not familiar with the function of those type of guns. It feels kind of strange. Of course, you can bypass the double action by just by cocking the trigger with your thumb. It does have some decent serrations on it, so cocking it is not that big a deal. It does work pretty well. Put that back up there again. Safety decocking lever, ambidextrous too. It works actually backwards from the way a 1911 does. Usually on a 1911 you knock the safety down to turn it off. On these, safety down decocks as well. So the system works very well. The grip is, I like the small grip because I got the small hands as mentioned, but got decent serrations on the slide for, I find it rather grippy myself. Adjustable rear sight anyway. It's your typical 3-dot configuration with a square front post. Pretty nice, no complaints there. And then otherwise it's your standard semi-auto. Has the thumb actuated slide stop, and then that's basically it. Also, kind of nice feature if you're one of the tactical guys. It has a mini pick rail on the bottom, so if you do want to put a, something goofy like a laser or something on it, you can. Be ideal for a light, but this is not a weapon that you'd use for personal defense anyway, probably. But like I said, I view this personally as more of a training, fun, plinking sort of platform. But anyway, great little piece. One of the things I wanted to point out that I think is really neat about the Ruger is the ease with which this gun breaks down. Now, it's not as easy as a Glock. I don't think there's anything easier, but it's still pretty cool. Now, to do that, it's you're pretty much looking at it right here. There's a little tab that's actually inside the trigger guard that you flick down, and that pretty much just breaks the whole assembly loose. And then its slide pops off, and then you have the spring, and that's it. There really aren't any more pieces than that. So, you know, the slide, the spring, and then all of this, the rest of this assembly stays the same, including the barrel. The barrel doesn't come off. It's not really built that way. But the good part about it is that if you look inside here, you can get to all the internals pretty well. You know, as far as to clean up the feed ramp and the slide rails and everything else. Maintenance on these things is an absolute piece of cake. You know, just run a couple of patches through it like you normally would. I use a Q-tip to put lube on the rails and run silky smooth. To put it back together, you basically take the safety off, cock the hammer, and then the spring goes back in, and that's pretty much it. Catch there's a little indentation on the lower side of the slide that the spring goes into. Pick up that, whole thing goes together, and that's it. Put your tab back up like that. Done deal. Anyway, superb platform. Now, what I wanted to do was, in addition to showing you this, I'm sure there's a million videos out here on this gun, but what I wanted to point out that I think is important is people will oftentimes complain that you know, if they have a failure to feed or they have some sort of malfunction, they generally go and they'll clean out the gun and everything else. How many of you actually go back and clean out your magazines? Now, here I have, this is my M1A magazine, stamp steel, you know, comes out of the factory like this. I mean, granted, it's heavy and everything else, but it's stamped, and there's no maintenance to be done on it, which is okay because they don't generally go wrong. But when you take this floor plate off, what you find underneath is there it goes across the room, is the tab that holds the spring in place. Oh, 1 second. Did not expect that. That will not be taken out of the final edit. So the base plate holds the retaining cap, and then there's obviously your main spring on that, and then there's the little tab here that you grab to load the mags, and then everything comes out. So here you have there's your 5 parts of your magazine, and you know, obviously they do get munged up. If you can probably clean them out, as mentioned, with you know, maybe a little WD, a little gun oil, and a Q-tip, and get the crud out of it. And so that's what you want to do if you want to avoid, you know, any type of magazine kind of malfunction. Nobody likes those. But like I said, there's not a great deal to it. This little tab, as mentioned, goes back in again, if I can remember how to do this properly. So I'll just tuck that in there. Spring goes back on. Then the retainer. And like I said, and then the base plate of your choice. I'm just going to go with the one with the extension on it, just as a matter of course. But like I said, the ability to be able to, you know, fix these and maintain a gun properly is great, particularly if you're going to buy this for a young person who doesn't have a great deal of gun experience. You know, I can't recommend these highly enough. They're super. Anyway, this look from my auctions. I'm at least going to sell one on Gunbroker. This is a used gun. This has probably 100 rounds through it, pretty much just broken in, but it comes with everything that I've already showed you in the factory box and pouch and so forth. But yeah, please, just want to throw out a quick vid. Check out my auctions on Gunbroker under the handle Send Lawyers Guns and Money. Just click on the Advanced tab, do a search for the seller. In the meantime, this is our latest offering here at Full House Outfitters. We'll have more to come. I'm going to have, hopefully, an M1A video up here shortly, a scout squad that I'm working on. And when I finally have that complete, you know, obviously I'll be sure to show that to you guys. Anyway, that's it from here. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you like, and we'll see you on the range.